February 13th?
2018.
That's the other day.
Miguna reported. So you just add there. Miguna reported.
March 9th, 2018.
March 9th.
2018.
What happened?
The handshake.
Oh.
That's what you can't forget, man. The
March
handshake.
9th.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
Dates like that.
So you are good with
July 14th, 1789.
Jeff.
French Revolution.
Hey.
The storming of the Bastille. By the way, that 1865 was the assassination of Abraham Lincoln.
Hey.
April 15th.
So Jeff.
So I got, at the end of it, we passed our papers up. No. We swapped papers. So, you and
So that it can be marked
by the person next to you. Mark. And I got only one with 10 out of 10.
Wow.
10 out of 10.
Wow.
Standing ovation.
Jeff.
Dates.
Now let me tell you, I was not good in maths.
Okay. Yeah, you got a strong D, you once said.
I was not. Totally maths is not, and will never be.
You and
my
math
thing.
were strangers.
Water and electricity. We could not meet eye to eye.
If you meet-
Omena and groundnuts, they also don't mix.
Why?
I don't know.
You can't eat groundnuts and then eat omena. What happens? What's the process?
That's another story altogether. It needs a whole show. So there's this one day.
Yeah.
I stole. You know the way, exams are now being printed.
Okay.
And you go to the dustbin, to check.
What are you doing in the dustbin?
You see, when the printing is going on, there are mistakes and everything, and papers are shredded.
Okay.
Are thrown into the dustbin.
And you knew this how?
Anytime you're looking for a way to survive, you must know.
So you're looking for a way to cheat.
To cheat. And lucky enough,
I
found the only answer sheet. Answer sheet, my friend.
Did you keep it to yourself?
I kept it to myself. And I knew that this is it, bro. For the first time, I'm going to surprise
the teacher.
This country.
I'm getting
just school.
I'm getting a strong A.
A strong A. Hey! So see, I have the answer sheet. Then I called my friend. It's called Patroba. This is now, we are in Form 3 now. And maths is still a stranger to us.
Both of you.
You understand?
Why are you calling a friend?
So that I could share the good news that, you know what? These revisions you're seeing people doing here, forget about them.
I got this.
I got you. Then I took to him. Okay, now what we didn't see is that there was no number 1 in the answer sheet.
It started from?
Number 2. Do you understand? There was no number 1 in the answer sheet.
Right.
There was a mistake. Okay.
That's why they trashed it.
Yes, that
because number 1 was missing.
Number 1 was missing.
In your head.
In my head, number 1 was still there.
Number 1 was number 2.
Number 1 was number 2.
Oh.
What? My friend.
Huh?
So I have questions and I have answers. But I have question 1, but I have answer number 2. You understand? So without realizing or following up instructions or knowing what answers is there, you don't know maths. I had the answer to number 2 to question number 1. So question number 2 had answer to number 3. Question number 4 had answer to number 5, vice versa, all the way.
And that's what you put down.
My friend, have you ever had answers and you got 0 totally? Totally 0.
And you had the answers.
My friend.
Oh, man. So that was another failure.
To date, I'm still looking and wondering what happened to me. Or where will I apply calculus?
Well, you're still your mother's son.
Have you ever applied the calculus anywhere?
No, never.
Do you know calculus?
I know calculus, yeah. I know calculus.
What's wrong with this?
Gabriel Mutuma.
What's happening, folks?
He's just happy to be here. Gabriel Mutuma. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
Gabi.
I have a friend of mine here called Narima.
Narima.
Hi.
Hey, darling.
Good.
You know, Narima is married to one of my childhood friends.
Is that right?
Can you talk into the mic?
Oh.
You seem like you're saying that very regrettably.
No. Billion Okoth Ojiwa. Why is Billion? Billion, how are you doing? I'm with your wife in studio.
Oh.
Billion Okoth. Billion Okoth. We're not billion.
Billion.
Narima.
Billion, not billion.
Oh, billion.
Billion and a billion.
Billion.
They can't come closer.
No, he ain't on a billion.
And it can only be Okoth who can call himself a billion.
a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Grew up with him in Mathare Valley. Brilliant dude.
Narim, welcome
Thank
to
you.
Hot 96.
Thank you.
First time, isn't it?
Yes.
And who lured you into this place? Was it this man here?
I'm actually surprised to see him this morning.
Is that right?
Surprise.
Oh, nice.
Mrs. Okoth.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Jeff.
Let's get right into it, man.
Yes, immediately.
Look, let's not kid ourselves. Look at this headline. What's that standard? Gabriel, you have it? No, forget the Untouchables. The standard. Standard.
Why you don't want to see that you have goons in your cell?
Of course,
Yeah,
yes, we have
good.
goons around.
Standard. Bottom of the standard. Look, Raila, I'm not interested in 2022. Come on, help me out here, guys. Help me. No, honestly.
Raila
Jeff,
said,
do you remember something I sent you some time back?
Go.
And I told you who's the Houdini of politics.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You remember that?
Houdini.
That guy.
Houdini.
Actually, it's called the politics of misdirection. Politics of misdirection.
Yeah.
You know, you will think he's facing one side.
Right.
Yet,
Before you know it,
he's facing the other. You know, I told you he played a very good game. Let me call it a mix. You know, he can mix better than DJ Clyde. And what the guy did,
Clyde.
I mean, you know, he needed to come out as the only political heir of Western and Nyanza. And by the way, Coast and very other, counties. And how does he need to do this? Is by, first of all, portraying his fellow Nazarites as cowards. And guess what? He succeeded. So you cannot tell me he went all through that
Right.
for nothing. Tell you what, Rao is going to be in 2022 ballot like nobody's business.
He is, isn't
you
he?
can take that to the bank. And
Take
by
it
the
right
way,
now.
If you want to start earning profits and interests, this is the time, Jalas. That man will be in the ballot.
Narima, your thoughts?
My thoughts are we always give Raila so much credit. There's some things that he does which I can frankly say were not planned. But he manages to make a crisis look like an opportunity. That's Raila Odinga. As far as 2022 goes, there are things that he has said that he would not do, and he does. So he's one of those people where I wouldn't be surprised if he does vie for president in 2022. It's his game. That's how he plays his poker game.
And remember, he had to wash himself clean. That's why he had to put these guys into the altar of cowardice. I'm your man. They are not. When we needed them most, what did they do? And by the way, it's not that they ran away from it. No. He knew what he was doing. He went ahead of them. The guys were somewhere in Karen exchanging text messages. And I'm told one of the house boys, right, Jalas? One of them gave it, "Hey, guys, what are you doing here?" The guy is on TV. What do you mean? When they told, oh yeah, he was in Uhuru Park. He had been sworn
That's
in.
this other side of the story that says that they have been told that I will call you. Switch off your phone.
Yes.
I will call you.
Yeah, I mean, look at that situation. I'll call you.
Switch off
Tell
your
us,
phone.
Switch off your phone. I'll call you. Come on.
How are you going to call
Yeah, how are you? That Nigerian number again.
So these guys are in Karen, somewhere on standby.
Yeah, they are waiting.
They told guys, there's breaking news.
Yes.
Guess where Baba is?
Yes.
He's in the park.
And he did it with style and glamour.
And took off.
No, you have to
5
like
minutes.
Baba. You have to like Baba. And then guess what? He goes silent.
Yeah.
And you guys, all the razzmatazz, the guy is just chilling, comes back in. Man, he has washed himself clean. You know why? Because of the MOU. You know the MOU with Kalonzo Musyoka was saying that an ODM candidate cannot be fielded, cannot be part of the field
In
come
2022.
2022. So Raila needed actually to hogwash that. And he succeeded in doing it. So guess
Narima-
what? It's like he owes nobody a
So
political
Narima,
debt.
if you're these other guys, and you got to feel for Kalonzo and Mudavadi and Wetang, you've got to feel for them. What's going through their collective minds right now? Are they regrouping?
Well, I think they tried to regroup, especially Kalonzo when he had that Kamba Unity gathering. And then we also see Wetangula, he lashed out the most. In fact, you could tell he
he's
was
the bitterest.
unhappy,
You know why?
bitter
As Senate
partner.
minority leader, that was also
Yeah, it was taken
the
from him.
rug was pulled.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then what surprises me is how Mudavadi still remains calm, supportive, and still positive about following Raila.
Like he
on.
still has hope.
Yes, he does. And that is something that I find very intriguing because it's like this is a relationship between three others, and one of them seems like forgiven and I'll move forward with you. The other one, Kalonzo, seems kind of silent, but you can tell he's bitter. Wetangula is the loud one, who's extremely bitter.
Yes.
And he reminds us every single day why he's bitter.
Yes. And he says Raila's not, he's not welcome in Mulembe Nation. No.
And you know, that's the funny thing. You cannot tell Raila that.
No.
The guy is more famous in your own backyard.
By the way, he'll show up, He'll show up.
Let me tell you, there's no way in this country you can tell Raila not to go. Just the other day, last week, he was in Moranga.
And made stopovers, my friend.
All along the way.
Exactly.
Along the way and talking to the people.
Let me tell you, Raila, to be honest, he has earned what you would call a statesman. The only problem sometimes, he pushes the envelope too far. But there's no way in this country you can tell Raila not to go. That guy will be welcomed even in the last Kakijiji somewhere in Wajir. Guys know him, guys love him. The only thing that is so dicey is how he never gets to win an election. Probably the strategy we can,
Nerima.
But yeah,
Go on.
I was going to tell Mudama that as much as people love him, it seems that he's losing that power over people, especially young people.
Correct.
Where they feel tired. You've promised over and over, we followed you, and then we see almost nothing. So I think it brought opportunity for new faces in leadership.
Right.
There are a lot of people looking at younger people to push this baton of leadership, not necessarily Raila Odinga.
But who are the young people? But who are the young new faces?
Well, part of the handshake, Jalas, part of the handshake was who? The daughter, Winnie. And I think any political analyst in town will tell you, from the big honchos that we know, the people that we respect and revere, the likes of Mutahi Ngunyi, they'll tell you that could actually be the first president from Nyanza. I mean, Mutahi Ngunyi has not minced his words when it comes to say that. Winnie. And so, it was a strategic game that, that Raila would tag Winnie along. We always knew the late Fidel had serious political ambitions. We've always known Rosemary had serious political ambitions when she wanted to run for the Kibra seat, and so probably this is Winnie who's on the left, who can actually take that political mantle. We do not know how that will play, but I agree with Nerima. With time, people are starting to, I think we need to confide Honorable Raila to just being what he is.
Okay. Let's take a step back, Nerima. And this whole talk about changing the constitution to provide for the prime minister position, powerful prime minister, ceremonial president, is that going to work? Is that real talk?
I believe it is real talk. I think that those are conversations that people are having. My concern is why that position exists. We're not really looking at it as far as it's a position to mend the country or it's a position to help the country grow better. We're looking at it as a position to be able to benefit a particular individual. And that's the problem. And when we talk about changing constitutions and referendums, it's very difficult. We're 8 years later after the devolution, and we're still trying to figure out what we accepted with the constitution. So when you talk about a prime minister's seat, we're not really going to understand the impact that it makes, especially the way we think in short term. We are more concerned about today, and then we're more concerned about the benefits that it brings today, not about the future generations, which is 30 years from now.
But us Kenyans, we're like sheep.
Exactly.
People keep, giving us little doses of this and that, and before you know it, we're all in agreement. We're all crossing that, we're all following that shepherd.
And Jeff, it's the talk of town. The question that you asked Nerima, do we just need to change the constitution just because, And people have argued. If you listen from both divides, people are like, this is not the right time. Probably this is why we always go into a crazy frenzy of almost tearing this country apart after every election. Do we need to create more positions? Guess what? 42 tribes, Jalas. How many positions can we create at the top? 5 probably, at most 6.
Max.
Then what? You see, that's why I'm saying the credibility of somebody's leadership and the nature of servitude, that's what should count. It is really, really not the 5 tribes that we know, running at the top. And guess what? You will still have a problem. Even putting who will the prime minister be, who will be the deputy, who will be the president, ceremonial or not. No. If it's sitting down as a people, as a nation, to look at the way we are going to govern this country, we will only have one point out. And that point, Jeff and Jalas, it is devolution.
Okay,
if devolution works.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, listen, Gabriel, referendum or not?
No, I don't think this is the time. Now, I'm not saying
no. I'm saying in the
Is
next
it
2
happening?
years. In the next
Do you say it's happening?
No, by design, we need to check. Do we need to amend things? Our constitution.
I'm not
is
asking
not saying
design.
amend.
You as a political analyst, what do you see before 2022?
Will there be a referendum?
Yeah.
I don't think there will be.
Nerima.
I think they're going to try and force one.
Yeah.
They will, but I hope they won't be. What I'm saying.
Francis Atwoli, Kotu Sekjen. He doesn't just speak out of his mouth just
know.
like
Yes,
that.
I know.
He does not. May 1st this year, last week, he announces.
A Labor Day, and he chose the platform. By the way,
Thank you. He
And by the way,
chose that platform. And by the way, you know what happened afterwards? When he said, let's give Uhuru a job because we don't want him to be, to mess with elections and stuff.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, his life is threatened.
And by the way, for
They
the
wanna
first
kill him.
time, Jeff, I have never seen Francis Atwoli.
So concerned or so
Have you- did you
worried.
see?
Correct.
I've always seen him come out,
Robust and this, yes.
I have never seen Francis Atwoli as concerned as he was.
That's a credible threat.
I mean,
That's a credible threat.
And that just shows you cannot play with the powers that be.
There are powers behind powers.
Oh man, I'm telling you. And so as we move along, I think yes, people have actually been saying Francis Atwoli could not have just spoken to speak. He probably could have been speaking for somebody else.
Yeah.
But we can actually prolong that debate, Jeff. And I don't think it will take us to the place where we want to go. Because already, and I don't know why it happens in Kenya, Nerima. We come from an election, Jeff. Honestly.
We're
The
fatigued.
economy-
We're
our
fatigued.
economy- yes, our
Still.
economy was actually messed up. We come from an election. We are talking about 2022.
Yeah.
And guess what? We may actually be on this wave until 2022.
Yeah.
I
Nerima,
hope not. I'm so tired.
look at the star
I
headline.
tire.
Star
I know.
headline today. I'm not
Not
interested
interested
in
in-
2022.
Rumors from the
Bold.
stones or what they call base.
This.
Base. Vijana wa base wanasema namna hii. We'll have Gideon as president.
In 22.
Yes, then this powerful position, prime minister position,
Goes to?
be given to Raila Amolo Odinga.
Okay.
And we have we have the deputy president first,
right.
who is Anne Waiguru.
Minji.
You get that line up?
I'm listening.
Then we have two deputy
Prime
prime
Minister.
ministers,
Who are?
Alfred Mutua and Joho.
What is that?
What?
By the way, you guys, you're
Did
saying, what is that?
Hold on.
What
Hold
is
on.
that?
Nerima, go on.
Did you listen to that?
Say it
I
again.
have had.
Gideon president.
Listen to this.
Gideon president.
Gideon Moi as president.
Raila prime minister.
Prime minister.
Deputy president Minji.
Minji.
Two deputy prime ministers.
Alfred Mutua and Joho. To cover
Where's Ruto in all this?
Bro, he's been shafted a good one.
Oh, man.
Look at him.
No. You see,
Even Nerima's shocked.
No,
That lineup.
you know why it is shocking?
Go on,
Jeff?
go on.
Because it may actually go that way.
Yeah.
Don't joke with Kenyans. I mean, if there's anything I've learned about Kenyans,
Yes.
it's like what you've said. We just follow. We are like
That's
sheep.
it.
Hardly. It will start in those mitani, those stones, these are corners.
That's the talk.
Yes.
And it builds up. It
And
builds
guys
up.
will look at it and say, hey, wait a minute.
Why not?
What arithmetic do we have that will give us peace? You see, like you had guys in Kikuyu land, Mount Kenya saying to
Yeah.
you will not
Sell us fear.
All right? People are starting to mount and march at them. Where are we going to be secure? And you had the president at the State of the Nation address saying, it is a high time we look at how we do or how we run our politics. To me, it was signifying we need to find a formula that works, that will ensure we are not bringing this country to the brink of war. Is such a setup going to change things? Will Ruto sit on the other side and say, hang on a minute, I know I can marshal up a team. What is my team going to look like? Get somebody from Western, get somebody from Kamba, get somebody
Because
from
in this
Toledo.
equation, Nerima,
he also has to come up with-
Luya Nation is missing.
Oh, yes.
Completely out of
This
this.
they are also nowhere. But you see, that makeup, I think we are going to wait for a very long time. This will be the best suspense. 2022 will be the best suspense we've ever seen. Nobody will call it out until the final moment.
Yeah.
Because Ruto wants to see how will this group be, how will they make themselves up? Raila, on the other hand, will also wait and see. I mean, we were taken back and forth to know who the NASA leader was. I mean, people were just shouting it's Raila, but we waited until
last minute. Even Mudavadi wasn't sure that when he announced it, he
so
wasn't
for
quite
2022
sure.
is going to be crazy.
But Nerima, is this list nonsense? This lineup that Jalango just echoed?
I don't believe it's nonsense because right before the election, Joho was very vocal about supporting Raila. But we've seen him sort of take a back seat. And we've also seen Alfred Mutua focusing mainly on his county and his work. But what I worry about those seats is the fact that I think we're the only country who creates positions to be able to fit personalities. We don't have the position first and then select the individual. And there's something wrong with that. It's like going to work for a company and you're saying, these are my expertise, this is what I have experience in, and they decide, okay, we'll make this position for you, and this is the salary for you. What happens in the end? You have a confused company. You have a confused country, which doesn't have any systems, it doesn't have any orders, and I don't think it's going to help. Just because you create more positions with people from different tribes doesn't mean that they're going to bring any difference into the country.
Gabriel, let's face it. Jalango mentioned Gideon a few moments ago. Let's face it. There is no love lost between Gideon Moi and WSR. There's no love lost. Even that handshake during the weekend, that funeral, it was all put on. You could see the body language.
Yeah.
They do not like each other.
And by the way, let me just, for those who are Shimuas who are listening, I think one, it is going to be not only suicidal, I think it is bad. It's a bad habit for you to cane on Gideon on every political stand that you get and then expect to just walk in and see his father. It doesn't work like that. Jeff, I cannot be caning you all over and then I want to go see your dad. You think your dad will allow? No.
But what are you coming to see my dad for? I mean,
Exactly.
what's the
Not only
big
that.
deal?
I mean, it's like you telling Jalas, you are caning him everywhere, spoiling his name, calling him all sorts of names, and you still want to go see his father. Not only him, even his dad. It can't
Nerima,
Gabriel,
jump
but
in.
our politics, it does. People were insulting each other the other day.
Left,
now
right,
they're
and center.
handshaking.
But yes, but you
Insulting
see,
people's mothers.
but you see, Moi doesn't understand that kind of politics.
Look at Babu Wino. He abused the president's mother.
He was
and now they're
running, and he was
buddies.
running to shake. You see, the president is. I mean, he comes from a very different school of thought from Moi. You run back in the day, Moi call him anything. The next thing you hear is a knock on your door. Moi never used to, run those politics.
Okay, let's go back to the crux of this matter. So Ruto, according to the Deputy President's office, he cannot go anywhere without a schedule, a timetable that is set.
Yes.
And on this day, obviously, the timetable had been set. But he gets to Kabarak. He's told to hang out because,
even reading Itumbi's tweet that said Gideon Moi is a very interesting man. Very interesting. Remember, the deputy president cannot leave or go anywhere without earlier.
Yes, planning.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And the president, the former president, Daniel Arap Moi, he has a private secretary, Lokorion.
Yes.
And I would have thought...
And Lin Jiro's also there as well.
But I would have thought DP's handlers would have called their...
Maybe they did, and then last minute Gideon stopped it.
He could have. I mean, Gideon has been accused of just, ensuring people don't come and see his father.
Or select people go.
Or select people. Actually, yes. In fact, that's the accusation. You are getting guys from outside there, guys who actually were messing and disturbing your dad to just come, but your people here at home, you're not allowing them access.
So obviously, Nerima, it comes back to my point. These two do not like each other. WSR and Gideon.
They never have.
Yeah, but then, like I said, in our politics, you might not like each other now, but then 5 years from now, you will be best of friends. That's just the Kenyan politics.
But
there are no real enemies.
No permanent
they do
enemies.
not exist.
No permanent
But
enemies.
did I really miss the memo or something? Has Gideon Moi ever announced that he wants to be president?
Of course.
Himself?
Yes.
Many times.
And said?
Many
Yes.
times.
It's only the 2022 where he has not said, but
He
Kanu
has not
said.
said. He has
but
not
Kanu
said.
said we will
Personally,
have a candidate.
He says,
has
I will be a candidate.
Yeah.
He says, I will be a candidate.
Kanu said they'll have a candidate. He himself...
The problem with him, he doesn't give interviews, so we have to know what he's thinking. That's his problem. But, that's another story.
story, eh?
No, he
Just
just...
get-
I don't
just
know
get
why
on the bed.
he's got a whole television network down the road and he doesn't give interviews. I'm not saying he gives to us, but, announce. What are you afraid of?
Yeah.
But But can he take on Ruto? Can Gideon actually take him on mano a mano?
See, Ruto has gained a lot of fans. And it's because of the mentality that he always uses this narrative that I'm a hustler. So a lot of young people identify with that. So he brings this sense of hope that no matter where you come from, you can shoot for the stars. You can shoot to be president one day. And Gideon, on the other hand, has always been seen to be handed opportunities, not necessarily work for them. But I think that people would vote for Gideon because they find him easier to fall under his leadership compared to Ruto. Sometimes people find Ruto a bit too authoritative, very iron-fisted, and then he's very strategic in the way that he does things, which makes a lot of Kenyans nervous. So I think they can face head-to-head, and it can be competitive, but it would be a battle between two completely different personalities and where you feel comfortable.
And let's not forget, Ruto destroyed the entire Moi family 2 elections ago. Huh?
Totally.
Completely.
Totally. And you know what somebody had said, and I don't know if they were really again kenning Gideon Moi on this, but it's not a fault of his own. He never chose to be born in the Moi's family. But somebody was saying, just remove the word Moi from Gideon. What do you have? If you put Gideon somewhere in Machakos country bus, several people may just walk past him.
It'll just be Toet.
Yes. Gideon, that's a good. But you see, they like Nerema is saying, one thing you have to credit Ruto, the man has built himself. I mean, that's a politician of no mean repute. He's somebody who has brought him, I mean, he's now putting out his Mutu ya Kuku. And if he uses that line, albeit the fact that he may work against him in some quarters, he is seen by so many people as somebody who can actually be a beacon for us to be telling our children, this guy used to sell chicken, this guy was like this, he used to be the fact that people are calling him a billionaire now, but guess what? If you aim to the stars, you can actually lead this.
So he endears himself to a whole constituency.
And he knows how to do it.
I like Ruto because there's a story behind him.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the narrative that he might just use throughout.
There's no story behind Gideon?
What story? What?
He plays polo.
Polo. And
maybe you people can relate to him because you play polo too, and you are very few and you don't vote.
And by the way, do you know that's how we've known Raila? Raila endeared himself. By the way, you would think Raila used to live down with the guys in Kibra. Because Raila would come and sit down
wealthy.
and
privileged.
Those Mauji from Kibra. He knew his game. All right?
Played well.
He endeared himself. That's why Raila needed not to campaign in Kibra for him to become an MP. We just need to say, Mimi nakuja.
Another story in the Star today. Stop using fake handshake to sell 2022 agenda, Murkomen tells Raila. Now, Ruto is sending his boys now to attack. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of unrest.
Even at the funeral, you saw the people who were talking were not the big boys.
The Matiba funeral.
Everybody has been left and been given a role to go and attack.
They're attacking.
So you, the big boss, plays the come. You just become their handshake and smile. Yet you've already let everyone loose to attack.
So all is not well in this big camp, is it?
It's not.
No.
Guys, there's a lot of unrest.
But you see, you have to realize when, and this is so funny, in Matiba's funeral, no politics of 2022 really were discussed. Nobody was given that platform. The president was very clear and Raila was very clear. In fact, they are the only, apart from people like Orengo, they are the only two guys. And they still stayed clear of 2022. They said this is not about 2022. The handshake was not about 2022. And nobody was given that platform to abuse and send, words, across the divide. But in Baringo, things were different. In fact, Ruto himself never ventured into 2022. It was his handlers or his boys who were talking about it. In fact, guys from all the way from Central, Kaninikiaga and Moses Kuri, they were the ones who were actually talking about the politics of 2022. So they've already known when to talk about politics of 2022 and when not to. Mainly when the president is around. Because they agreed as Jubilee, if we start talking about 2022, we lose on the Big Four agenda. The Big Four agenda should be our guiding principles. And guess what, Jeff? I told you, Ruto already has a very good vantage and starting point. If he loses it, ayo ni shauri yake.
But like some people say, one day in politics is like 100 days
the Big
or
Four
1,000.
agenda, if he is able to ensure that the big four agenda, if they work for the common Mwananchi, because they are geared to work for the common Mwananchi, I am telling you, that guy will be unbeatable. He'll be unbeatable.
Ruto.
Oh, he'll be unbeatable.